Hello mask fans, Darren here today. I got my helper Gabriel who's going to help me explain some foam filling techniques. We're going to foam fill this 1983 Don Post Karloff Frankenstein for Halloween. So foam filling has some benefits of it helps preserve the shape of the mask and to keep it from further rotting, specifically with cracking and hardening of latex. So there's about 3 types of foams on the market. And I'll explain the benefits of the best one to use and the ones you should probably avoid altogether. The first one we're going to talk about is Flex Foam. Now Flex Foam is available on Amazon. It's a polyurethane foam and it comes in different degrees of hardness. Now the hardness is described in pounds per inch basically. It's like air in a tire. The higher the foam number, it's the number of foam required to fill 1 cubic box basically of the foam. So the higher the number, the more rigid the foam. The lower the number, the softer the rigid. So this is Flex Foam. I first used this for my daughter Katie, who likes the squishies. And what we did here, this is a polyurethane cupcake mold that we got I think at Walmart, and we filled it with the Flex Foam. It's 2-part solution, mix A and B together, pour it into the mold, and we use some fabric paint to paint these cupcakes up. So it's a fun little thing to do. But show them, Gabriel, how squishy it is. Squish it. Squish, squish, squish. So it's very squishy, as you can see, but it does retain its shape. But it's not the best for foaming a mask because it's really just too soft. But for making squishies, Flex Foam is the way to go. And Flex Foam makes some more denser foams that might be more suitable. But if you want to make squishies, Flex Foam is the way to go, and you get squishies out of it. Alright, so the next foam is the Morris foam that you can get on Amazon. Another 2-part foam system, but this foam is more used for filling a fence post in the ground and setting. So stuff comes out like concrete once it's poured, and there's absolutely no rigid in it. This is a 2-pound foam, as you can see, and I'll give you an example of what it looks like. This is a distortionist Moorman that I foamed, and it came out disastrous. This is one of the first masks I attempted to foam, and this stuff comes out rock hard. There is no flexibility in it whatsoever. It kind of reminds me of the Great Stuff foam that you get in a can and spray somewhere. So once this stuff goes into a mask, you're not getting it out. Now I had prepped this with a bunch of Gorilla Tape all inside of Moorman right here, but it set so quickly I didn't have time to form the mold, basically the foam in it, once I filled it up in the latex. So when I pressed in, I wound up leaving these indents. So Moorman right here is having some issues, but he's not going anywhere. Maybe set a fence post. Alright, so the next one is going to be the Moorman Industries foam, another 2-part foam, water blown, and this is an 8-pound foam, and I foam filled Malpractice right here with the foam, so it has some give into it. Probably not as rigid. So I correct earlier, the higher you go in the foam, the softer it's going to be. The lower it is, the more dense it is. So this is a number 8-pound foam. I'll probably go with a 5 or a 4 if I had to do it all over again. But this mask was cracking, so I wanted to fill it, and it came out pretty good. There were some shaping issues because this is about the 3rd mask that I foamed, but it came out well. This Moorman foam you can get from Moorman Industries. I'll post a link for it below. They also have some great tutorials on their website about foam filling. So I'm going to use this Moorman foam to fill the Karloff mask, and then we're going to talk about the prepping in it too. So lastly on foaming, I would say this too. Take your time. So this is Executioner, which was foam filled by Maskahuna. As you can see, he's probably the go-to guy if you can get him to foam a mask. Does great work. It's probably a 3 or 4 pound foam, but he's a gun, a packing gun for packaging to foam fill his mask, and just superior work. And we're going to talk about prepping the mask with some felt behind the eyes and the mouth, and how to prep the inside of the mask so we don't get leakage. So that's Mascahuna's work, which is the standard that everybody tries to achieve. And then other artist foam fill stuff too. This is probably a 2-pound foam on this creature mask right here. Great work, but the thicker the latex, the more help you're going to get from the latex itself on maintaining the shape of the mask, and you don't get bulges or misshaped masks when you get done foam filling. All right, so let's now talk about the foam filling process itself. And the prep work is the key to foaming a mask. If you don't prep the mask properly, as you can see, you get misshaped mask like Moorman here, or you get blowouts like these top stones that I did. The eyes on this one opened up on me when I was foaming, so I got spillage of foam, and the foam's gonna come out everywhere once you start. So if you don't prep the mask properly, you get spillage, and then you got to have a process of getting the foam away from the latex so you have a good one. This one actually came out good as far as the shape, but you see I didn't seal my felt behind the eyes, and I'll show you how I corrected that in the future after I talked to a few people. And then you can have misshaped, completely misshaped. This one I tried to rush too bad, and now I got a bulged on one side, a collapse on the other side, and 2 willy cattywampus eyes and super duper busted out lips. But so Pickle Puss right here, it's got some issues, but hey, no spillage because I prepped a little bit more. I just didn't take my time when I filled it and let the foam set before I tried to shape it or help the foam out by shaping the mask in the process. And lastly, we talk about felt mask and some more misshaped. Again, blowouts. I didn't see some cracks in the mask that caused the foam to leak, and now I got foam on felt, which is really hard to get off. So, and then some misshaping nose here too, because I didn't take my time on this mask, because I did all 3 of these top stones in about an hour. So we're going to talk about ways to correct that and then foam fill this Karloff. All right, some tools that you're going to need on prepping. The first one is get some Gorilla Tape, which I didn't lay out here, but I've already Gorilla Taped the inside of the mask here a little bit. Gorilla Tape is a great non-toxic matte tape adhesive to latex. It lasts forever. It holds well. The felt you can get at Hobby Lobby too. All the stuff's available at Hobby Lobby minus the foam. The felt behind the eyes, get a black piece of felt, it's about 99 cents, and cut the shape. And then we wind up cutting the tape, taping the felt in behind the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears, and any other crack that you're going to have. Once we have the felt in place, what we're going to do is use some latex inside the mask, and we're going to tape over, or use the latex and latex over all the inside of the mask where we have the felt in place, and that'll create the seal inside the mask, so that way the foam doesn't bulge or free flow out of the foam or the latex and you have a big disastrous. Other things that you're going to need when you're foam filling: use latex gloves. If you have long arm hair, you'll save yourself a lot of pain in the future. We'll use the blue tape later. And then, since this mask has a lot of issues with cracking around its neck because it was worn, so therefore the sweat from the skin has caused it to dry rot and eat away, we're going to use some cheesecloth dipped in latex to reinforce some of the crack spots on this Karloff. So let's get started on prepping the mask, and then we're going to foam fill it and we'll see how it turns out. So it's going to probably be a 2-part video, just so you know. Let's get started.